Yeah, it's a lot of things I'm over these days, man. I'm over everything sounding the same on the radio and
Rolling your
all
eyes,
these
Tinika.
unjust killings, man. It's just crazy. You gotta stop.
We live. I'm here with it.
Yeah, it's Keith Turner and Out of Reach. Listen, I'm over being overlooked for the overrated, over being discriminated cause I'm melanated, over the industry for being oversaturated with rappers who have no respect for pioneers who made it possible to even do this in and cash out. Y'all get a gimmick, collect the money, yeah, y'all mash out. I'm over reminiscing about the days when women got recognition without having their ass out. I'm over the over-sexualized visuals, the dark verse light skin, colorism is pitiful. I'm over the overly spiritual pastors robbing the sheep, got them giving up money for a miracle. Over being underpaid at a job with no room to grow, and not having enough dough to run my own show. I'm over shut doors, so I'ma take the keys like my name was Swizz and get it overseas and get cheese. And for that I would not conform and dumb it down just because it's your new norm. I'm sticking to my guns, blasting my sound, and pitching to like a circus cause I'm over these clowns. Over you know who you're dealing with. It's Keith Turner, queen with the dunamis. Nothing laid down my crown. Y'all better be afraid. Over you know who you're dealing with. Keith Turner. Y'all better be afraid. Overly medicated, this generation's sedated. Zandy raps overplayed, y'all, let's terminate it. You think I overstated? Have I said it enough? Not even close when your fam's in comas over the stuff. You think I'm overly tough? I'm just getting my games. Imagine how much I press it when I'm feeling no strains. You think I'm steroid popping, how I'm pushing the train without it now being broken. Yes, king overcame the politics and not being treated the same. I'm over the bullshit, so I'm making my own lane. Where there is no limit, and I can vote like thunder with a lot over my head, but trust it won't take me under. Beats what I've been through. Stay consistent, cooler than an igloo. Didn't do it for ice or a red bottom shoe. Stay true to the art, now my time's come. It's overdue. Over you know who you're dealing with. You Keith Turner, queen with the dunamis. Nothing laid down my crown. Y'all better be afraid. Over you know who you're dealing with. Keith Turner. Y'all better be afraid.
Hey.
We live. I got Dr. Love, Tinika B. Love. I got the ultimate self-help coach, the love specialist. We gonna tap into a few things because yesterday was Valentine's Day, and
Yes, it was.
shout out to all the people that actually had a Valentine, even if your Valentine was your side piece. You caught up in an entanglement. You had to buy more than one gift. For some people, your Valentine might have been your kids. Shout out to the lover that's in you, though, man. Tinika, go ahead, give us a few words, man. Give us a few of those. Drop a love spell on us real quick, one time for the one time.
Drop what?
A love spell.
Well, apparently you
Why don't we just don't? Let's not talk about me. Let's just come on now. Let's do right now.
no, apparently you are in this love season. You want to talk about love so much. Why is that, Staxx?
I like to give people open perspective on different things. Love is something that that's needed in our world and this society that where it's so hateful. So it's it's a season for us to love each other, love on each other. And then for some reason I'm starting to see more and more people get fixated on this thought pattern of Black History Month. Like, there's no way that we are black for 1 month. Like, that's
Right,
ridiculous.
exactly.
Like, so I just like to embrace love from a total perspective and not just from the one that they show us. And
Okay,
the,
so
and the
since
love
we
that they show
talking,
us is really hate at the end of the day.
that's true. So since we talking about love, yesterday was Valentine's Day. What?
And another thing, I just want to say this real quick, man. Shout out, shout out. One of these days when the video drop, man. Shout out to Legacy Ty, man. He got a dope video that's out. I only saw the preview, but shout out to Legacy Ty, the Harlem Night, man. This is what we doing, man. We are we are what we are in Harlem. This is what we do. We trendsetters.
Absolutely, absolutely. Can't wait for the video to come out. It's gonna be some surprises.
Yeah. I was surprised.
But now let's talk about um yesterday was Valentine's Day. For me, every day should be Valentine's Day. I feel
I totally agree.
the one of the reasons why I really feel like every day should be Valentine's Day, because I experienced my own trauma surrounding Valentine's Day. Every year my ex-husband would go all out like for Valentine's Day, get and do the most just so that I can post it and show it. And then the next day it would be back to normal, or something would be taken away because he didn't like how I act, or what. It was always a punishment. So I've adapted. I used to celebrate it because I'm in a marriage, you want to celebrate love, but after you know self-examination and what I need and what my preference is. Of course, this is not for everyone, but I really feel like in a relationship, you need to make every day special, and it doesn't take much to do that. It just takes putting a smile on your significant other's face. It can be as simple as going to the store and getting the your person's favorite candy bar. Just the little things, and the thought is the most impact, and that's what matters the most, really. So if every day you make it Valentine's Day, you make it an expression of your love. You let that person know every day how important they are to you and valued. That's more powerful than just celebrating it one day. So that's my take on it. What about
I
you,
mean,
Star?
my take on it is one that is similar. I believe that if you can't make a person, if you can't make me feel special every day, don't waste your time trying to spend a few extra dollars on me because of a holiday. Generally, I don't celebrate holidays, but I do believe that we got to love on and appreciate one another in totality. Um, so I do agree with you. I don't plays a role on how you may feel about it, but I also say, um, you know, you still you. I will hope that you will have the will to become vulnerable in certain ways, because of the other person's feelings that's involved, whoever he or she may be. Because it's not about Tinika B Love or Stacks today, right? It's about the world. Um, but I do want to ask you something.
Yeah,
You hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. So I was on the live recently, and I was a young lady was speaking about um, how a man is supposed to be a provider, and that if it's a 50-50 thing, then she doesn't want it. Um, Before I tell you what I expressed to her, let me hear your take.
It's nothing wrong with wanting to have a provider. However, what is your plans? What do you plan on doing in that relationship? Because most women have this unrealistic idea of what a provider is. First of all, a provider is not just only someone who's financially able to take care of your bills and take care of you, but a provider is a leader, a protector, someone who is going to feed you knowledge, someone who's going to guide you in the right direction. That's a provider. It's not just always financial. Um, the 50-50 rule is is something else that's misconstrued. I mean, in no relationship, it's going to be 100%. I mean, it's no in no relationship it's going to be equal. Someone is always going to be doing more than the other person. But if you're putting 100% of yourself into the relationship, each person, then that's where you get the most out of the relationship. Now, if you're talking financially 50-50, then that can be that can look different ways. Financially, it can be your man or your husband paying all the bills, but you're paying for all the groceries, all the utilities, things like that. So you're still coming out of your pocket to contribute. He's just taking on the bulk and making sure he put a roof over your head, but it's still your responsibility to take care of the family. A woman, a wife, a partner is a helpmate, not someone that's just supposed to sit back and have your mate pay for everything. Now, you these women that want the provider, um, where are they looking for this provider, and what kind of lifestyle do they want to live, and how much money do they expect this person to be making to be able to provide all of that? And then you got to take into account all the other things. If you want to have children and have a house, you got to consider how that's going to look, as you wanting a person that's 100% a provider. Is that person, if you have children, do he has to pay for childcare? You're going to have a nanny and a cook and all of these different things. Because when you get to a level of somebody paying all your bills and you don't have to do anything, all you're going to do is continue to want more. And you're spending his money to do it. What are you doing? What is your ambition? What is your goals? Just to be a housewife? So you want a provider, but what do you want?
Right. So this is what I said. It was similar to something that you said, but I said it this way. I said, me personally, I don't believe in 50-50 love. I believe that if you give 100 and I give 100, we're gonna be successful. And whatever your 100 is something that I have to be willing to accept, and you have to be willing to accept my 100. Because women are more emotional than guys. They listen for different things than um than guys do, and they respond to different things than guys do. So a guy might promise a woman the world and everything in it, and because we convey things differently, when a woman hears the world, she literally hears the world, and that's what her expectation tells you. But when a man says, "I'm promising you the world," he's promising you his world. He's promising you what he has to offer, and you have to be willing to accept what he has to offer. And if you can accept what he has to offer, it's gonna feel like he gave you, the stars, the moon, and everything under it. But you have to be willing to accept that, right? And in
Hmm.
most cases, that's the dilemma that that women are literal in in what they hear. So because they are literal in what they hear, it automatically makes a man a liar. it automatically puts us at a disadvantage because y'all gonna remember the day, time, and hour when we said, "Yo, listen, I want to give you the world. I want to give you everything in the world. I want to give you the stars." But that's not a literal thing. It's just, if I could, I would. But this is all I have to offer at this particular moment. And as time progresses, then we could get the house, then we could get the car. You know what I'm saying? But you'll be able to experience feeling the world because it's gonna be something different than anything that you have ever experienced before me, and you're never gonna experience after me because I'm Staxx.
Okay. Well, that's where the communication comes in. Because when someone
Say that
says,
again.
that's where communication comes in. I mean, as a woman, get details of what that world looks like. Don't just have the expectation, oh, he's going to give me the world, so he's going to work hard to give me this life that I feel I deserve to live, without even having a discussion of what he meant by what I'm going to give you the world looks like. So
Right.
that's the problem, the communication from the beginning, communication and compatibility. You know, you 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 you're gonna give the world to someone that you're not compatible with. No, you're really not, because when you're not compatible with that person, there's always going to be friction in a relationship, which now hinders a person, or make a person reluctant to want to give you the things that they intentionally wanted to give you, because they feel like you don't deserve it. Because now all you're doing is having toxic behaviors in the relationship. So it's really about communication and compatibility. It's really important to choose someone you are compatible with, that you can really see a future with, that the future looks like what you could have imagined. And it's, of course, it's going to be more, because you can never possibly imagine what your future would be, but you can imagine what you would like it to be.
Yep. Would you agree that you and I held this conversation about love language? Um, would you agree that because oftentimes that we all have different love languages, um, that is a form of communication that is lacked nowadays as well?
That's definitely a big form of communication when a relationship has been established. And I'm going to keep saying that it really goes back to the beginning, because if you learn your partner from the start, then you can communicate in their language from the beginning, versus having all of this friction and trying to figure that out later. So love language is very important, because that's just how your partner is going to relate to receiving love in the way that they understand it, not the way that you do. So you have to communicate in their love language, not yours.
So I have a quick something that I've been liking to do because it's Black History Month. Um, give me a quote from a Black historian, a famous quote from a Black. I'm on the phone from a Black historian that you could just come up with off the top of your head. I'll give you one. You could give one.
Okay. You said you're going to give one first?
Oh, you want me to give one first?
I don't.
Malcolm X said this is not a black or white problem. This is a problem of humanity. I think that's one of the dopest quotes in the world because generally we all experience the same. We deal with them different. We experience the same life experiences. We deal with them different. Um, if we talk about finances or the way things look from a specific platform, then that's something different though. But as far as just being a human, it's human nature for us to have a certain level of whatever. Yeah.
Absolutely. Um, Mine's is part of Martin Luther King's quote, and is hate can't drive out hate, only love can do that.
All right, so where's your quote?
I just said it.
I ain't hear you. I ain't hear you. My bad.
Oh, I said it's part of Martin Luther King's quote. I'm just gonna take the part that really
Hold
impacts
on,
the most.
wait. I don't like how you did that though. This is like this became a Martin and Malcolm kind of thing. Like we doing it. Like what's going on here? Like, no, go ahead though.
No,
Go ahead.
hate can drive out hate. Only love can do that.
That's crazy. That's a scripture. It says love covers a multitude of sin. So that's like biblical, and it's funny because like depending on who I'm speaking to, or like I oftentimes don't try to correlate the Bible into my conversation because a lot of people is not ready for that particular conversation.
Yeah, because when you do a lot of quotes from the Bible, they automatically assume you're talking about religion. Um, it's
Oh, I
unfortunate
apologize.
because there's a lot of literature in the Bible that is useful, even if a person does not believe in the Bible.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Do you do you have any questions for me?
Do I have any questions for you? Um, what would make a woman, what would make a man feel safe with a woman to be able to fall apart with his woman? What would make a man feel safe to do that? Hmm?
Um, this is from 4:15. So and we got to share with two people. Um, what would make a man feel safe being in a relationship with a woman?
Not being
Um,
in a relationship with a woman, being feeling being able to fall apart, express their feelings, um, lean on for guidance, for support. What could a woman do to make a man feel comfortable and safe in doing that?
so in this realm of communication, it's a situation where oftentimes um you express different things to a person, right? And this is not just about men because women have the habit of doing things too, right? So you express different things to people in general, and it becomes a situation where you'll feel the need to stop expressing yourself if you feel like you're not getting any results, right? So generally, I believe that safety comes with results. If when you get results, it makes you feel like you know what I could trust this person enough to confide in them about how I feel or what I'm going through or whatnot. But if I'm not getting any results, then I'm gonna shut down because it's like this. One of my biggest pet peeves dealing with people in general is the application thing, right? If you ask me if I'm okay and I say yeah, and then you go, are you sure? I'm like, yeah. And then you go into, you don't look like you okay. And then that turns into more and more of you trying to pull something out of me. Like, I don't understand what's going on. Then I start feeling like I'm stupid, like I'm retarded, like I'm going crazy. Like that doesn't make me feel like I need to express myself. It's not gonna make me feel safe in expressing myself because I didn't already expressed it to you just in that simple conversation right there. You feel me? So, a lot of times people in general, some people um they can be overbearing in certain things, even though they mean well.
That's true. That's true. Sometimes it's definitely in the way you approach, and sometimes you just have to fall back and allow that person to come to you when they feel comfortable and ready. It may be something that's bothering um your partner, your man. But, badgering and pressuring is definitely not going to get the answers that you're looking for. It's just going to have that person clam up, fall back, and not really want to discuss anything. It's just a natural thing that men do. And I don't like to speak for all men, but because I coach a lot of men and I'm around a lot of men, I grew up with nothing but men. I'm aware of how much they're affected by certain things and why. And I also make it my business to ask a lot of questions. I do a lot of lives like this and have panels of men to ask questions so that way women can understand men a little bit more better. I'm an advocate for men. I feel like, they're under a lot of pressure. They're not able to express themselves. They're expected to be providers and protectors, but who's protecting them, and what are we as women providing for them? So
It's funny that you say that because I held this conversation recently where where I spoke to someone about how generally it's more so that we just deal with things differently than a woman may or may not, right? And because we deal with things differently, a lot of times might lash out when trying to express us or feel the need to express ourselves from a place of misappropriated anger. Um, Whereas a man will bottle it up and try to deal with it, or or just sit in the car and yell, or you know what I'm saying. Um, and then you know one of the funniest things that I've heard recently is um, a man that doesn't argue with a woman um, doesn't care, or he lacks emotion. And I'm like, well, first of all, coming from the womb of a woman, being connected to the umbilical cord of a woman, um, we have to have some kind of emotion. Whether we choose to show it or not is something totally different. But we have emotions that's attached to us. Certain things to us may not be worth showing as much as it may be for a woman, though, right? And I always give the example of a baby, right? Jealousy is an emotion. A baby, you could pick a baby up and then put that baby down and pick up another baby, and automatically you'll see jealousy in an innocent baby.
hmm but what
And
I
that
would say
just
to that is, you as a man who is aware of that, um can improve your communication just by being aware
but that has
that.
nothing to do with arguing, though.
No, it has nothing to do with arguing, but what happens is if a woman feels like she's not being heard, or what she's saying um has no effect on you, you don't care. And that's not necessarily the case. It's because of the way that you respond. So
But
you
what
can
happens?
you can respond
What?
or acknowledge a woman without having to get all emotional like she may expect. You get what I'm
But
saying? But
but
just
what
to
happens
not
overall
acknowledge
when
it. Go ahead.
what happens overall when I choose to just get quiet so that I can figure out how to approach dealing with you.
Well, this is where she has to know her man and exercise that patience. Like for me, instance, in my relationship, when we have conversations, sometimes that happens. There's a delay in a response. But I understand that, you're thinking about the best way to answer. And that can
Oh,
mean one of two things. And this is where women who are insecure feel like if there's a delay in a response, then there has to be some type of deception going on. When
are you
that's
free
not
next
necessary.
Tuesday?
Who, me?
Yes.
Yeah.
We're gonna do a to be continued.
Okay.
My co-host has another show coming up, and I'm gonna let him get ready for that.
Okay.
So we can continue this next Tuesday. We probably have another guest with us. I like
Okay.
I like to spar with the female, so I might have a female here.
You like to spar? I hope in the sparring you're doing some learning as well.
I learn all the
We learn
time.
from you.
I hold conversations with you because I learn from you. But
Okay.
this is our time, man. Tanika, I appreciate you.
Thank you
Um,
always for
and
having me.
and guess what? I love you. I love you for being Dr. Love.
I love you too, Staxx. You know that.
All right, well that's our time, man. Have a good day, all right?
All right. Thank you for tuning in.
This corner here be